In this video, I'll be ranking every single spell from Kingdom Rush battles from worst to the best, so you can know what spells to use and what to avoid. Further ado, let's get into it. Let's start off with the worst and the one which has the least amount of use in the game. I'm gonna be honest, it's going to be the Vines. Vines isn't like the worst, it's pretty good in early arenas, but once you get into Stormcloud Mountains or Bandit's Lair, the damage output this spell gives is almost less to none. It just slows enemies down. I'm not a big fan of them, but it's still more viable, but it's very situational. It just works against swarm enemies, so that's the only purpose of it. But I truly think there are exceptions, as if you take a look at reinforcements, they are good early arenas, but they're very bad, not even good to use in after arenas. They're only used when you are using a dragon to have a backup plan in case if you need ground stalling. I think it's very exceptional when it comes to these two spells. It depends on what you use and what you prioritize more, but these are almost the worst ones to use out of all other spells in the game at the moment. Now in early arenas, until you haven't unlocked something which helps you stall enemies or help you in just slowing down all of that pressuring enemies just coming up into lanes, stun is a great thing to use. You can even use it in after arenas if you have some good strategy involved with it. Yet stun is kind of outperformed by other spells which work way much more better compared to stun, so it's just not viable. It's good, but it can be outperformed by many other spells in the game at the moment. Talking about stun, now it's time for teleport. Teleport is very nice in situations where you're almost about to leak health and it's very close matchups. That's the place where I would use teleport quite a lot, and I would normally use it as just using it with stun in early arenas. For an example, just getting enemies to clump up at one space with help of stun and teleport timing, and then using a damage spell on all of them to deal as much damage output as possible is also good when you are just trying to get as many swarm enemies as possible on one place and killing them with an artillery or something like so. Strategies are available, you just have to use your brain, but I still think teleport is still not viable as other ones because others can do a lot much more better than these. Now this is where we get to see some good spells coming in, the ones which are considered to be the meta spells. Icy Ground being one of the best stalling spells in the game, I would put this in a very much A tier because the reason behind it is it slows down enemies. Not only that, it has a long radius. It doesn't damage us or anything, but if you have a strategy where you have a lot of AoE attacks or damage, you can just use this as a very good viable strategy. And not only that, it can help you from just stalling the boss at a specific location for more damage output. So using it is a skill and a disadvantage if you don't know how to use it, because you will be slowing down enemies at wrong lane, which can help the opponent in few situations. So it's a skill based spell I would consider. Use it when you can actually find a viable use of it, or just keep it for the right time. Now this is what my take says. Sabotage comes in. Sabotage is a huge radius. It just nullifies all of the armor an enemy and a boss has, so it works on the boss, which is one of the greatest parts of it. So if your strategy is some damage focused, you can use this again and again, which helps you out a ton in terms. If you're using a physical damage focused deck, you can use this and you can just kill the enemies who have physical damage quite a lot easier with the use of Sabotage. There are a few situations where Polymorph and Sabotage could switch up depending on the use, because next one is Polymorph. I found Polymorph very well, yet I have a take that Polymorph is better than Sabotage because Polymorph reduces the health of that enemy too and makes it stop attacking your units, which is absolutely great situation. But still, I think in future situations where you don't need to do any of that, Sabotage is great because it works against boss and boosters too. Yet Polymorph doesn't work for boosters, it only works for base enemy type. So it's interesting how both of them have their own uses and you can use them depending on what deck are you making up? Coming to the two best ones, I would consider Rain of Fire and Thunder. Thunder is the best spell to use in the game at the moment just because how great damage is, and not only that, it deals pretty good damage and stuns enemy. That's exactly what you needed. Rain of Fire is quite nice, but both of them did receive a nerf, so usually I avoid using two damage types in same deck for just making my strategy more broader and having more things to test out in a game. I usually use Thunder, Sabotage and Icy Ground, which works pretty much well. You can always switch up Sabotage and Polymorph depending on the uses of your deck, but meanwhile Rain of Fire doesn't fit in later arenas. It's just rather better to use Thunder instead of Rain of Fire. You can unlock Thunder as soon as possible. More than that, this is my entire ranking. Consider subscribing for more amazing content. Let me know what your tier list is for the spells in the comment section down below. Go and check out my other videos and stay tuned for more quality Prahant gaming. Keep on rushing.